Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. And once again, another beautiful day all across north central Washington. Sure wouldn't know it's fall right now. It feels a lot more like summer, but we did see a steady increase in clouds throughout our afternoon. This shot looking down from number 1 Canyon back at Wenatchee, and you can see some of those clouds that we did see this afternoon. And that's just the beginning of some changes that we'll be seeing, especially as we get into tomorrow night. Yeah, it's going to be wetter and much cooler. In fact, we could have several rounds of different storm systems move through over the weekend and into next week. And yes, we could even see some snow above 5,000 feet this weekend. And also look out for some breezy winds. We'll bring you all those details coming up a little bit later on in your weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. An East Wenatchee man has been charged for his part in a high-speed chase. Voters in Douglas County can expect to start casting their votes less than a week from now. And even though the 2020 fire season is winding down in Washington, there still will be smoke in north central Washington as the U.S. Forest Service gets a jump on its prescribed burn program. But first, we begin tonight. A Moses Lake man and woman were attacked by their dog this morning, hospitalizing both, with the man in critical condition. Kyle Foreman of the Grant County Sheriff's Office said the attack happened at the Harvest Manor Mobile Home Park. That's located on Airway Drive Northeast. It happened at 11:20 a.m. He said the dog has been captured. The attack happened inside the couple's mobile home. They were transported to Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake. Another news, meeting in their only debate before the November election, Governor Jay Inslee and his opponent, Republic Police Chief Lauren Culp, painted sharp contrasts on everything from mandatory masks to responses to rioting to wildfires and climate change. Here's some of the highlights from last night's debate.
The problem is when we have one person sitting in the governor's office telling everyone what they're going to wear, whether they're going to go to work or whether they're not going to go to work. That's the problem that I've had with this. And as governor, I would put out the information with medical professionals, tell everyone what's going on, what they should do to protect themselves, and what might happen if they don't. And make sure the supply chain is open for the equipment that's needed, and then let free individual citizens decide what's best for themselves, their family, and their business. Because you can't tell me that a barber with one customer in his store can't cut that person's hair safely and protect him and his customers, but a marijuana store or an abortion clinic or a big box store is okay to open with 100 or 200 people in it. That is not common sense, and it's lacking in the governor's office right now, and I will bring that to Olympia.
Because this is working. This is working big time. I'm pleased to share with my fellow Washingtonians that tonight, what we have done in our social distancing, in our masking campaign, because Washingtonians are not listening to Donald Trump, and frankly, Chief Culp, they are wearing masks. They are socially distancing. And as a result of that, we have lowered our infection rate dramatically. Tonight, we were fortunate 45 other states in the United States have higher infection numbers, some 5-10 times more than the state of Washington. This translates for people going home with their families, parents being able to see their children, grandparents that I think still have value, I believe, in this society. Their lives will be saved. And we are opening our economy. We've been doing that for 2 months. We've opened all kinds of bowling alleys, more restaurant activity, wedding parlors, agribusiness, and that will continue in the next few weeks. You had tens of thousands of people peacefully protesting, tens of thousands of people marching without breaking windows, without starting fires. And in their midst, these folks came in and caused violence. And it was very frustrating to those who believe this is a righteous cause, but don't want to see this violence. This violence is unacceptable to all of us from any source, and it should stop.
We all have a right to peaceably assemble and speak our mind, right? That's our First Amendment right. But when it turns violent, when people start looting stores, when they light buildings on fire, cars on fire, and throw rocks and frozen water bottles at our police, that's no longer a First Amendment right. That's a crime. It's called rioting. And although the governor did send in troops, the National Guard, you know, because the governor is the commander-in-chief of the Washington State National Guard, he sent them in there at the request of local law enforcement, but he disarmed them before he sent them in. I will never, ever send our young men and women in uniform into a violent situation without the means to protect themselves and other people. But this governor calls these climate fires. That's nothing, I mean, he's just deflecting from, like I said earlier, nothing is his fault. Everything is someone else's fault. And in this instance, he's blaming these fires on the climate. And I don't deny that the climate changes. I remember in the 70s, it was all over the news that we were in a global cooling and then global warming and now climate change. The climate changes. I don't dispute that. But these are not climate fires. These fires are the result of very poor management on the state level. We don't log our forests and replant them. We don't thin the forest. We don't clean up the carbon on the forest floor. And we've been shutting down road access, which limits firefighters to get back and fight these fires, as well as access for the citizens to cut wood and go hunting and fishing.
But look, let's talk about the real issue here, which is climate change. For people to run for governor of the state of Washington at this date, with the damage that climate change is doing to our state, not just fires, but killing our salmon because the water's too acidic and too hot, and changing the hydrological cycle so that farmers don't have irrigation, and changing the very growing season we have. To have someone run for governor of the state of Washington following Donald Trump over this cliff into the abyss of climate change, that just, I believe, is unacceptable in our state. We deserve better. We believe somebody will not just follow science, but will act on it.
Voters in Douglas County can expect to start casting their votes less than a week from now. The county says ballots will be mailed to registered voters on October 13th, next Tuesday. That's 3 days ahead of the statutory start for the 18-day voting period. Ballots from Chelan County and all others are due to be mailed October 16th, next Friday. There's still time to check your registration through the Washington Secretary of State's office at votewa.gov. The last day to register for this election is October 26th. Well, construction workers punctured a natural gas line yesterday at a home in the 1000 block of Madison Street, leading to a neighborhood evacuation. Emergency crews were called to the site and the road was shut down about 8:53 a.m. Chelan County Fire District 1 says a crew from Cascade Natural Gas was able to plug the leak about a half hour later. No one was injured. Well, even though the 2020 fire season is winding down in Washington, there still will be smoke in north central Washington as the U.S. Forest Service gets a jump on its prescribed burn program. The Forest Service says the burns are a vital part of its wildfire prevention efforts as crews remove burnable fuels from the forest. First up are areas of the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest near Twisp, Winthrop, Mazama, and the Loop Loop Ski Bowl. Coming up next, a Moses Lake home and hardware store is among 11 businesses penalized by the state for failing to enforce COVID-19 mask rules. A new health district survey shows 93% of visitors to stores in Chelan and Douglas counties are wearing face masks, and the city of East Wenatchee is looking for some holiday cheer in the form of a donated Christmas tree. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
I have fiber at home because it allows me to do a great job in my profession. It allows me to learn things that I need to learn at home. It allows my kids to hopefully one day be able to be educated because of what they learned online and what they learned from their teachers. And it allows us to have fun too as a family. And we're able to do a lot of things because of fiber internet. I'm Rudy, and my family learns with fiber.
Hi, Stephen DeVilbus here, Branch Manager of Beneficial and Home Care. We are an equal opportunity employer and we do not discriminate in employment or services. It is our mission to maximize our clients' physical health and sense of mental well-being while remaining in the comfort of their home. We are currently seeking professional caregivers who share our mission to help our clients live safely and comfortably at home. Call Beneficial and Home Care. Schedule your interview today, 509-663-7900.
Why run all over town when you can get the financial services you need under one roof? The location is 521 Chelan Street right here in Wenatchee. Accounting solutions for success. Insurance from trusted choices. Real estate, the power of the edge. Personal, professional, preferable. It's all right here. Get the edge on your financial needs. Now available in Chelan as well. Get more information at augustedge.com.
Welcome back. In another news, a Moses Lake home and hardware store is among 11 businesses penalized by the state for failing to enforce COVID-19 mask rules. The Department of Labor and Industry say employees at Penholleric's Home and Building Center did not wear masks as required and didn't enforce mask rules among visiting customers. The business also did not post mandatory signs warning customers of that requirement. Penholleric's must pay $1,500 for the violations, which were noted by L&I investigators between July and September. Other businesses cited were in Spokane, Ritzville, Auburn, Enumclaw, Chehalis, and in Olympia. Well, speaking of masks, in the Wenatchee Valley, 93% of shoppers are observing mask rules when they go into local stores. That's one finding of a survey conducted in late September by the Chelan Douglas Health District. The sample was almost 2,500 people observed shopping in 12 cities. The findings weren't quite as good among store employees, where mask use was just 90%. Masks and social distancing are the recommended tools for slowing the spread of COVID-19 in public, and executive orders from Governor Jay Inslee make masking mandatory for both retail workers and customers. Meanwhile, the city of East Wenatchee is looking for some Christmas cheer. If you have a good-sized fir or spruce tree growing on your property, and you'd like to get rid of it, the city will take it off your hands and use it as its own official holiday centerpiece. They'll even get the stump for you. Trees should be 25 to 30 feet tall. If you can help, get in touch with the city at 884-9515 if you have a tree that fits the bill. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hope. Oxygen to your soul, color in your world, a light to your future.
Difficult to qualify and quantify,
yet you know when it's lacking.
So many things have promised us hope,
but have left us feeling hopeless and empty.
Real hope is able to stand firm even on the darkest day of the soul and still say with the prophet Jeremiah,
"For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord.
Plans to prosper you and not to harm you.
Plans to give you a hope and a future."
The Apostle Paul declared to a young church in Rome,
"May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace
as you trust in him,
so that you may overflow with hope
by the power of the Holy Spirit."
If our God is a God of hope, then maybe it's your turn to experience a hope that cannot be shaken
or destroyed.
And maybe it's time to hope again.
Maybe it's time to become a generation of hope.
What if the same God that raised Christ Jesus from the dead
can resurrect your hope?
Maybe it's time to hope again.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Well, if you haven't been to Kashmir lately, you might want to plan a trip because the annual Scare Crazy displays are more imaginative than ever this year. You can then vote on your favorite scarecrow on the Scare Crazy in Kashmir Facebook page. Voting closes October 15th. In tonight's feature story, here are just some of the displays you can see throughout town. Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. And going back to that last story, it's hard to believe that Halloween's only a few weeks away, considering our weather feels more like summer out there, and it did once again today. This is a shot from our Sky-Fi tower camera up on Number 1 Canyon, looking back at the Wenatchee Valley. And we did see a pretty steady influx of clouds today. There is a weak storm system moving just across the northern part of Washington, and that's what brought us the cloudiness today. And then an even bigger storm will move in tomorrow, and we'll get into that here in a second. But today's high temperature once again well above normal, 79 unofficially, and if that is an official high temperature, that's right, we'll tie the record high that was set back in 1989, so we'll let you know about that tomorrow. 61, can you believe that? That was our low temperature this morning. That's 17 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. Record low 30, and that was in 1985. Sunrise this morning was at 7:10, and it'll set tonight at 6:25. Let's take a look at your Friday weather forecast, and it's really not going to be bad for most of the day. We will see a steady increase in clouds throughout the day on Friday. Temperatures just a little bit cooler, 74 for Ephrata and Moses Lake, 73 in Quincy, Ellensburg and Wenatchee at about 72 tomorrow. And then with the clouds coming in from the northwest, a little bit cooler for places like Wenatchee or Lake Wenatchee and Leavenworth. High in Chelan tomorrow, a beautiful 71 degrees. Tonight we expect partly cloudy skies. It will be a bit breezy tonight. We'll see if we can get to 10 to 20 miles an hour. Those winds should die down after midnight. So here's a look at that little storm system moving through that did bring us the clouds today. Here's the bigger one. As we get into Friday, we will see increasing clouds throughout the day and a 70% chance for rain late in the evening. This is during the day, and these yellow and gold spots indicate heavy rainfall, so we could see that in parts of western Washington. And then as this system comes barreling in, we could see some wind along with lots of rain, especially along the Cascades. But look at that, widespread rain. It's covering the entire states of Washington and Oregon. All of us will see some nice wetting rain on Saturday. By the time we get into Sunday, still plenty of moisture hanging around. We're going to keep at least a 30% chance for evening showers with mostly cloudy skies. It almost looks like more than a 30% chance, doesn't it? As we get into Monday, partly cloudy. Here's our next weather maker, tightly wound just off the coast of British Columbia. It's coming down from the Gulf of Alaska as well. And that could bring us maybe some sprinkles on Monday. Most of the rain will stay to the northwest, and then a better chance for more rain on Tuesday with increasing clouds. This, once again, looks higher than a 30% chance, but we'll update as we go along this week and early next week. For Wednesday, partly cloudy. We're just calling for isolated sprinkles by midweek next week. Temperatures will be seasonal. We're talking highs on Wednesday anywhere from 60 to about 65 degrees. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. A little cooler tonight than that 61 this morning. 54 overnight, 53 tomorrow, 72 tomorrow, a 70% chance of rain by tomorrow night, and that goes up to an 80% chance throughout the day on Saturday. It will be breezy, and look at that, much cooler. 62 Saturday, 63 Sunday, 65 Monday, and not much change in our forecast on Tuesday and Wednesday, with highs then around 64. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging in Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Here's to 5 billion miles of amazing. 5 billion miles of...
This is so cool.
5 billion miles of helping you stay safe. 5 billion miles of passing the pump. 5 billion miles of... That's 5 billion miles driven around the world. The all-electric 2020 Nissan Leaf.
The extended range 2020 Leaf is now available at Town Nissan, right behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Thursday to you. The Pac-12 will start the 2020 season in a month, and the schedules are now out for both Washington and Washington State. League will play a brief 6-game schedule beginning November 7th. The Huskies kick off at Cal, then host Oregon State in Arizona before traveling to the Blues for the Apple Cup day after Thanksgiving. UW will return home to host Stanford December 5th before wrapping up at Oregon on December 12th. The Cougars play at Oregon State November 7th before hosting Oregon and then traveling to Stanford. Following Washington's visit November 27th, WSU will travel to play Southern Cal and finish December 12th against Cal. The Pac-12 will host its championship game December 8th, and for the teams that don't make it to that game, there will be a crossover game to play North versus South, same seed. So number 2 team in the North will play the number 2 team in the South, and so on. Well, the A's were able to stave off elimination thanks to the long ball against Houston in the American League Divisional Series yesterday. Oakland got home runs from Tommy La Stella, Mark Canha, Matt Olson, Marcus Semien, and Chad Pinder to down the Astros 9-7 in Game 3 of the ALDS. Oakland also trying to stay alive today with Game 4. Kevin Kiermaier hit a 3-run home run, and Michael Perez a 2-run shot as Tampa Bay ended a game away from eliminating the Yankees. 8-4 the score last night. Charlie Morton worked 5 innings on the mound for the win as Tampa Bay took a 2-1 series lead. Game 4 underway on TBS. Switching to the National League, Atlanta a game away from moving on to the NLCS after a 2-0 win over Miami on Wednesday. Ian Anderson and 4 relievers combined on a 3-hit shutout as Atlanta took a 2-zip lead in the best-of-5 series. Braves were up big earlier today and looking to sweep Miami out of the playoffs. Well, things got heated at times in last night's NLDS Game 2 between San Diego and Los Angeles. Padres came crawling back with 2 runs in the 9th before Joe Kelly finally coaxed the final out to preserve a 6-5 win for the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw earned the victory on the mound. He went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs, 6 hits, 6 strikeouts. Dodgers going for the sweep tonight on the MLB Network. I know, MLB Network. That means it's only online. A lot of Dodger fans not happy about that, including Grant. Seahawks made a move to bolster its defensive line Wednesday by signing Damon Snacks Harrison to its practice squad. Snacks is a nickname, by the way. Harrison, a former All-Pro who played with Detroit last season. Coach Pete Carroll says they were able to add him to the practice squad, which with things changing this year means that he can play when he's ready.
Damon's he's been a real force in the league, and he's got a real special style, and he's so big and so strong and stout in the middle. This opportunity to get him now and to get him on the practice squad is to give him some chance to work and get ready and learn what we're doing and see where he can fit in as soon as possible. You know, if you've noticed, we've been able to use players off our practice squad that have been playing in their games, and they've been part of it. It's an expanded roster in the new format, and we're trying to take full advantage of that and make the most of it. So. You know, whenever you can get a guy, and this, Damon comes to us. He's a player that's got, you know, big character in the locker room. His attitude and personality that you add to the team is really special. And so whenever we can do that, we're trying to get better. And so hopefully he'll be able to add in. Right now, we just want him to just get to work and get going with us.
Seahawks are preparing to take on the Vikings. Coach Carroll says the team will have to continue focusing on all aspects to remain unbeaten.
We're looking forward to finding the consistency that's got us to where we are, just winning 4 games, and we're going to try to do it again. There's a lot of areas, I think I said to you guys earlier, that we can improve on, and we have to keep stressing getting better at every phase of things, and that's really what's at hand right now. Just keep improving and try to play real consistent, good football. And if we take care of the ball, then we have a pretty good chance of winning. The Vikings have had a very difficult schedule. They played really good clubs, and they played really good last week. They've got great scheme. You know, Coach Zimmer does a terrific job. The whole football team has got a whole style about them. They run the football hard and tough. They play good defense. They're good on teams, and they've been really explosive in the passing game with the receivers that are terrific. So we've got a real challenge for us. They know us. We know them. There's a lot of commonality in that, and so hopefully we can put together another good week and come out firing here back home. playing in the Northwest. It's good to be home. Good not have to take that trip that we keep ripping across the country.
With all the injuries on the defensive side of the football, rookies and no-names have had to fill in. One that fits both those descriptions is rookie Ryan Neal. He was brought off the practice squad last minute 2 weeks ago against Dallas, made the game-saving interception. Then he found himself on the roster again last Sunday in Miami, made another interception. Neal said this has been a crazy few weeks in his life.
I think the word would be fast. I mean, it's just been fast. And, I kind of like it like that because, you don't get a moment to take it in. It's kind of just like, hey, next man up, buckle up, let's go. So that's kind of how I've been looking at it. Just the whole significance of it, I haven't really got a moment to, just even take it all in. I'm just like, it's my turn now, so let's just go and let's play. And, like I told Jamal, I'm here to hold it down till you get ready to come back. And, for everybody else, I'm just holding it down so everybody gets back, and I know that my team is counting on me. So I feel like I have to, bring my best and just make sure that I got all my boxes checked off and making sure I'm improving every day. But these past 2 weeks have just been rolling fast. So just taking it one day at a time.
Vikings and Seahawks kick off at Central League Field Sunday at 5:20 on NBC. Here's a look at our sports schedule on the NCWLIFE channel. Starts tonight with hockey night at 7 o'clock. Wenatchee Wild take on the Merritt Centennials at the Town Toyota Center. Arch Ecker has the play-by-play. Speaking of Arch, he'll be a guest on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with Dan tomorrow, so be sure and watch for that. Friday night, high school football. Wenatchee takes on the Davis Pirates in Big 9 play. Grant and I have your play-by-play starting at 6:30 tomorrow. Then on Saturday, it's Wenatchee and Eastmont girls soccer at 2. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen with a call. And then at 7, we'll air our first ever broadcast of racing at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval from June, the Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning opening night. It's all right here on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel. That's a look at sports. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
2021 models are arriving at Sangster Motors. General Motors is on the move with the all-new 2021 Yukon. Yukon is redesigned from the ground up with a bold new look and all the latest technology. Also new is the Canyon AT4 pickup. This off-road equipped mid-size truck will challenge any rival for performance and value. Both of these models will offer Duramax diesel options for maximum power and economy. The American Challenge is game on at Sangster Motors now.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up.